The delayed regret. Phenomenon of dumper's remorse. The end of a romantic relationship is rarely a clean break. While the immediate aftermath often focuses on the pain and grief of the one being left, a more subtle and delayed emotional process can unfold for the dumper, the person initiating the separation. This phenomenon, often referred to as dumper's remorse, is characterized by a delayed onset of regret, sadness, and longing for the relationship they chose to end. Unlike the initial relief or sense of freedom that may accompany the decision to leave, dumper's remorse emerges later, often triggered by specific events or realizations. We will look into the complexities of dumper's remorse, exploring its underlying causes, the factors that influence its intensity and duration, and its potential impact on both the dumper and the dumpee. Understanding the dynamics of dumper's remorse. Dumper's remorse is not simply a change of heart or a sudden realization of a mistake. It is a multifaceted emotional experience rooted in the psychological processes that govern attachment, loss, and self-perception. Several factors contribute to its delayed nature: initial relief and justification. In the immediate aftermath of a breakup, the dumper often experiences a sense of relief, particularly if the relationship was marked by conflict, dissatisfaction, or a feeling of being trapped. This relief is often accompanied by a strong need to justify the decision to leave, reinforcing the negative aspects of the relationship and minimizing the positive ones. This cognitive bias serves as a protective mechanism, shielding the dumper from the immediate pain of loss and doubt. The absence of immediate grief. Unlike the dumpee, who is immediately confronted with the reality of the loss, the dumper has time to mentally prepare for the separation. This anticipatory grief can buffer the initial impact of the breakup, delaying the onset of genuine sadness and regret. Furthermore, the dumper may be perceived by others as being in control and emotionally strong, further suppressing the expression of vulnerability. The illusion of control. The act of initiating the breakup can create an illusion of control and agency. The dumper may feel empowered by the decision, believing they are taking charge of their life and moving towards a better future. This sense of control can mask underlying anxieties and insecurities about the future and the potential consequences of their actions, the idealization of the past. As time passes, the negative aspects of the relationship may fade into the background, while the positive memories become more prominent. This selective recall can lead to an idealized version of the past, making the dumper question their decision to leave. The grass is always greener syndrome can also contribute to this idealization, as the dumper compares their current situation to the perceived happiness they once had. Factors influencing the intensity and duration of dumper's remorse. The experience of dumper's remorse is highly individual and influenced by a variety of factors. The nature of the relationship, the depth of the emotional connection, the length of the relationship, and the level of commitment all play a significant role. The more invested the dumper was in the relationship, the more likely they are to experience remorse later on. Relationships characterized by high levels of intimacy, shared experiences, and future plans are particularly prone to triggering regret. The reasons for the breakup. The reasons for ending the relationship can significantly impact the intensity of dumper's remorse. If the breakup was due to irreconcilable differences or fundamental incompatibilities, the dumper may experience less regret than if the breakup was due to external factors, such as distance or career opportunities. Similarly, if the dumper ended the relationship due to their own insecurities or fears, they may be more likely to experience remorse later on. The dumper's personality and attachment style. The dumper's personality traits and attachment style can also influence their experience of remorse. Individuals with avoidant attachment styles may be less likely to experience remorse, as they tend to suppress their emotions and prioritize independence. Conversely, individuals with anxious attachment styles may be more prone to remorse, as they tend to ruminate on past relationships and fear being alone. The dumpy's reaction. The dumpy's reaction to the breakup can also influence the dumper's experience. If the dumpy is understanding and accepting, the dumper may feel less guilt and remorse. However, if the dumpy is angry, hurt, or desperate to reconcile, the dumper may experience increased guilt and anxiety. The dumpy's subsequent behavior, such as moving on quickly or finding a new partner, can also trigger feelings of jealousy and regret in the dumper. Social support and external validation. The availability of social support and external validation can also play a role. If the dumper receives support from friends and family who validate their decision, they may be less likely to experience remorse. However, if the dumper feels judged or criticized for their actions, they may experience increased guilt and self-doubt. Before we continue, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel. It will help us grow. Understanding the triggers of dumper's remorse. Dumper's remorse is often triggered by specific events or realizations that force the dumper to confront the reality of their loss. Some common triggers include seeing the ex with someone else. This is perhaps the most common trigger for dumper's remorse. Seeing the ex with a new partner can evoke feelings of jealousy, regret, and a sense of loss. It can also force the dumper to confront the fact that their ex has moved on and is capable of finding happiness with someone else. Significant life events. Major life events, such as birthdays, holidays, or anniversaries, can trigger memories of the relationship and a sense of longing for the past. These events can also highlight the absence of the ex in the dumper's life, leading to feelings of sadness and regret. Realizing the ex's positive qualities. As time passes, the dumper may begin to appreciate the positive qualities of their ex that they previously took for granted. They may realize that their ex was a good listener, a supportive partner, or a source of comfort and stability. This realization can lead to a sense of regret and a questioning of their decision to leave. Feeling lonely or unfulfilled. If the dumper's life does not improve after the breakup, they may begin to question their decision to leave. Feelings of loneliness, boredom, or unfulfillment can trigger a longing for the companionship and connection they once had with their ex. Hearing about the ex's success. Hearing about the ex's success or happiness can also trigger dumper's remorse. This can evoke feelings of jealousy, regret, and a sense of missed opportunity. The dumper may wonder if they made a mistake by leaving and if they could have shared in their ex's success. The impact of dumper's remorse. Dumper's remorse can have a significant impact on both the dumper and the dumpy. For the dumper, it can lead to emotional distress. Dumper's remorse can cause significant emotional distress, including sadness, anxiety, guilt, and regret. The dumper may experience difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, and a general lack of motivation. Self-doubt and insecurity. Dumper's remorse can lead to self-doubt and insecurity, as the dumper questions their judgment and their ability to make good decisions. They may worry about making the same mistake in future relationships. Difficulty moving on. Dumper's remorse can make it difficult for the dumper to move on and form new relationships. They may be haunted by memories of the past and unable to fully commit to new partners. Reaching out to the ex. In some cases, dumper's remorse can lead the dumper to reach out to their ex, either to apologize, to seek closure, or to attempt to reconcile. This can be a risky move, as it can reopen old wounds and potentially cause further pain for both parties. For the dumpee, the potential consequences of dumper's remorse are complex. False hope. If the dumper reaches out to the dumpee, it can create false hope for reconciliation. This can be particularly damaging if the dumpee has already begun to move on and heal from the breakup. Reopening old wounds. Even if the dumpee is not interested in reconciliation, the dumper's contact can reopen old wounds and trigger feelings of anger, sadness and resentment, confusion and uncertainty. The dumper's remorse can create confusion and uncertainty for the dumpee, particularly if they are unsure of the dumper's motives. They may wonder if the dumper genuinely regrets their decision or if they are simply feeling lonely or insecure. Potential for reconciliation. In some cases, dumper's remorse can lead to a genuine reconciliation. However, this is only possible if both parties are willing to work through their issues and rebuild trust. Navigating dumper's remorse. Navigating dumper's remorse requires self-awareness, honesty, and a willingness to confront difficult emotions. Some strategies for coping with dumper's remorse include acknowledging and accepting feelings. The first step is to acknowledge and accept the feelings of remorse, guilt, and regret. Suppressing these emotions will only prolong the healing process. Reflecting on the relationship. Take time to reflect on the relationship and the reasons for the breakup. Be honest about both the positive and negative aspects of the relationship. Learning from mistakes. Identify any mistakes that were made in the relationship and learn from them.